To you, Don, because you're first tonight for your introduction.
Can everyone hear me if I talk like this? Or do I have to? Okay.
No.
No. All right, I'm gonna try to go mic free. We'll see what happens. My name's Don Bray. I'm with Altiterra Research. We're based in Palo Alto. We're a market research and consulting firm that focuses on sustainable business and clean technology solutions in the enterprise sector. So by enterprise, we mean corporations, we mean institutions, we mean governmental entities. We look at B2B activity as it relates to clean technologies. We're not involved in primary technologies, we're involved in solutions that these types of entities would buy. In terms of a significant development or perhaps success, I think that what's happened with corporate sustainability in the last 5 years has been remarkable. And I'm sure many of you have followed this, but if we go back and look at, say, 2006 to the present, there's been a huge uptick to the extent that major corporations and increasingly institutions are reporting on their environmental performance. And this can be carbon emissions, energy use, water use, environmental impacts in general. And this was really motivated initially, I think, by stakeholder concerns, by brand image concerns and that type of thing. But what it's led to, and I think this is really what's fueling it now, is it's become a competitive issue. And so corporations are placing demands on their suppliers to produce inputs that are more energy efficient, more resource efficient, that have reduced environmental impacts. This is making its way into buying requirements, and this is snowballing down supply chains. So increasingly, if you want to sell your product to beat your competitor, you don't just have to demonstrate price and performance, you have to demonstrate some degree of efficiency and environmental performance. So very significant trend that's accelerated. I think the future is bright for a lot of technologies in the corporate institutional segment. If we look at new developments in commercial solar, lots of exciting things going on in lighting, HVAC optimization, building energy management technologies, enterprise environmental management system technologies. It's kind of a northbound train going on, I think, in all of these areas, and I'm sure that's what we'll hear a lot about today. In terms of macro trends, things that I think are going to be really important to continuing this trend over the next few years, three things. One is improving product transparency. We're all familiar with the issue of greenwashing. Everybody's got green products now. How do you know whether a product is truly green or not? So there's been I think a very definitive move to improve standards around product transparency, how environmental performance of products is defined. ISO has come out with some standards, GRI has come out with some standards. There's the notion of environmental product declaration. Think Interface Floor. They've just come out with products that actually are supported by documentation that's third-party verified, has science behind it, says here's the environmental performance of our product. I think this is a trend that will really materialize in a significant way over the next few years, and it's important to seeing this thing continue. Second issue is financing, especially in the clean energy and energy efficiency space. A lot of the products that we're talking about are essentially capital products. They require project financing in many cases, and as you know, over the last few years, it's been hard to get that. Fortunately, that picture is improving, but the cost of capital continues to be a challenge when there are lots of risks and unknowns associated with these new technologies. So something we're watching is this notion of bankability, new risk management processes around project finance to help reduce the financial risk associated with investment in these kinds of technologies. So bankability, I think, is going to be a watchword here over the next few years. The third thing is integrated reporting, and this goes back to my comments earlier about this corporate trend towards reporting around sustainability. Well, this has to be better linked with financial results of important to the long term so that sustainability doesn't, become less relevant over time. The more that sustainability is truly integrated with a financial view of a company's performance, the longer lived this is going to be. So companies like BASF, companies like Southwest Airlines, they've started to produce financial reports that have an integrated view around environmental performance, social issues, and so forth. And the extent to which this continues, I think, will really help propel this thing. So those are our three maybe macro trends over the next few years: bankability, product transparency, and integrated reporting that I think will help support growth of this in the corporate and enterprise sector.
All right, Don, thank you. I'm going to